What is up, guys? Evanaldo here. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys smashing the like button, subscribing if you enjoy the content. Now, couple things we want to go over in today's update. I guess we've seen a little bit of fear, over the last week. I guess, Powell didn't end quantitative tightening, not just yet. Canada did just end quantitative tightening, so that's a good sign. I mean, it would be likely at the next FOMC meeting that potentially quantitative tightening could end, and that could really potentially be what marks in the second, towards the middle and second half of this year, March and onwards, to potentially be your really crazy, altcoin season that has been debated. There's a good amount of fear. I think there's enough fear that would tell us, that it won't happen. Then there's obviously a lot of people, Alex Becker, a few others that are just blindlessly, well, I wouldn't say blindlessly, I'm not knocking anybody, but, just repeatedly calling for altcoin season, including myself to a certain extent. I mean, there's, certain people who think it's not going to be there this year. I think it will happen. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. Some people, the thing is, some people want, black and white and all that. And I mean, the first thing, if you read the book Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, one of the best books on trading, I think, is, two rules. No one knows what's going to happen. It's impossible to know exactly what's going to happen. Number two, you don't need to know what's going to happen to make money. So those are two important things to understand. Now, as we get into this, Bitcoin, really close to that all-time high area. It's sitting at 109 right now. If you hit this spiral in again, 110. I think, we're coming into the weekend, but I think that, well, Friday's tomorrow. So, I think that you got a good shot at pumping up to 111. We'll see what happens there. It seems like we may nullify kind of this trigger wave to the downside. Your money flow is looking better on the 2-day. We'll see what happens. And maybe a gradual increase in February up to even 130, or maybe you just follow this area and then March gets really good. You get up to 135. It's possible, or, more of a sideways thing and some altcoins kind of, take some steam, which I think may kind of happen. And similar to what you saw in 2021 a lot, you saw a lot of altcoins, you saw Bitcoin kind of sideways while a lot of altcoins did, pretty well through a lot of 2021. So there's that to think about as well. But, as of right now, it doesn't look terrible. You got your 3-week bear div, money flow coming out. That is a little scary. A lot could happen in 17 days, though. I wouldn't get worried about that until we get to, maybe here starts to say 5 days. If it's 10 days and things are still coming down, then it's looking like maybe a correction down to, some lower numbers, 80K, 70K. But until then, I don't see anything too bad. So, that's kind of the main thing there. Money flow, kind of indifferent on some of these time frames, kind of neutral. But I think you might have a good shot at coming up. Not too much to say on Bitcoin right now, but getting that jump up. I think, market's kind of waiting a little bit longer to see more things kind of happen, because Powell's speech was kind of yesterday, just kind of the same old, boringness, not really much has changed, and a complete pause. If we do end quantitative tightening next meeting or the meeting after, that could be really what, sends altcoins upward finally. Ethereum jumping up. If you break upward, I think there's a good shot of 35. It's been choppy, so kind of money flows decent, but it's choppy on some time frames. Daily, the big question: do you come down, go back to 2,500, or do you jump up here? Not the easiest thing to say in my opinion. So ultimately, you got a few things to look at there. Trigger wave to the kind of the downside. Your money flows okay in the 2-week. 4-year cycle here would tell you something of this nature. That would, or probably at least, something like that. That's my main kind of prediction, like that up to 7,400 or so. So we're still looking okay there. A little speed bump right here, but we're still looking okay. It looks bad on the 3-week. It does look bad on the 3-week. I'll give you that. Hopefully this doesn't confirm. Hopefully we turn around in the next 17 days. If I had to guess, a lot of February will be slow, gradual bullishness, and then March will be where we'll really see more of a turnaround. So I think you'll generally follow that greenery upward. We may not confirm in the red here. We may not confirm in the red here on the 3-week. Hopefully not. Could be like here when you enter the red. Really good place to kind of get in. In the 4-year cycle, that would make sense. There are some people who think we're going to fall off a cliff. We need that fear. That's what I'll say about that. We do need some fear to keep going. There always needs to be fear. You know, it's not a complete zero-sum game, but, you know, it is a little bit. It is a little bit. So, yeah, that's what I'm ultimately looking at. Trying to jump up this. Sorry if this is a little bit of a boring analysis. It's just kind of how it is right now, unfortunately. What we can talk about that's a little bit more exciting. You got your blood diamond on your others versus Bitcoin. This is everything outside the top 10 versus Bitcoin. Damn important chart to look at. Last time we had this was in 2019. It was pretty bad, but then it marked your bottom. Look, I think it's not going to be as bad this time. Your money flow is still coming up here. You may nullify that relatively soon, like with this VWAP. Within a month or so, nullify that. That doesn't mean we're going to go down for a month, but that's going to, you're going to get that trigger wave, and it's going to show you, hopefully, maybe a bottom here. Maybe it's just a false signal, because if you look at what's happening now, jump off of this big area. So hopefully you can hold that area. Hopefully you can hold that area. So I'm not too concerned. I'm definitely not too concerned. Also, you still got, well, 3 days to confirm. It probably will confirm, but like I mentioned, could be a dud, and I think it might be if you look at the 4-year cycle. ETH versus Bitcoin. You know, you made a lower low, trying to hold this level. I'll be real with you guys, it's been disappointing. However, look at this monthly right here. You had that green dot. There's kind of a false promise there. And your true low was November of 2019. Looking at this right there, let's look at this distance. We're about to form right around here that green dot. So easily, look, maybe I'm too much in the hopium. Maybe I'm too optimistic here. But I think that next green dot, it did print a little bit. It's probably not going to keep printing within the next day for the close of the month. But next month, like I mentioned, maybe we see a little bit next month. And then really into, well, this is too high of a time frame to really draw it out right. But anyway, I mean, just a little jump next month, gradual jump next month. And then March is really where we start to jump up a lot against Bitcoin for ETH. Shout out to CVO Crypto, posted a really good chart on this on ETH versus Bitcoin, I think. Got to get him on the channel pretty soon. Again, really good analyst. Nobody's paying me to say this. I don't say this about everybody. You know, he's had a lot of good calls. So you look at his Twitter chart or whatever. You know, it was a good chart with a good prediction showing ETH doing very well against Bitcoin in 2025. I think that's going to stay intact. The thing that, you know, you've seen me talk about a lot, yields, 10-year yield. When they came down here, market went nuts, altcoins did well. When they came down here, everything came down with it. All the cryptos came down with it pretty much. I think this is going to be more like that. If we see this area repeat some situation like this, which interest rates, a lot of good things will happen, especially with the lion back in office. Bitcoin dominance, I think it's probably topped out. I mean, maybe it could come up a little bit more. I think you're probably going to generally head down. That's what I think. Solana, another popular one. I mean, same old, kind of choppy. I would hope that you'd at least come back up to these areas relatively soon. The thing that, too, what was kind of looking pretty good in terms of meme department, usually the memes, you know, they get that correction. Maybe I'm wrong. Risky as hell. They get that bad correction. Everybody kind of gives up. And then what do? They jump up again. And then maybe, I could be completely wrong here. It's a damn big gamble, but February, it's not, you know, just maybe I'm wrong, but they do turn around quickly. So just keep an eye on that, especially with everything going on. But as you guys know, I mean, mortgage rates, I think this is going to head down too. You know, I think that we're almost there. And the last thing I'll show you on this chart, others versus Bitcoin here, guys. The last thing I'll show you here, important to look at. So, I mean, in the 4-year cycle here, we're a little bit delayed. It was January where, well, really, when you started to turn around, you had January, you know, the bottom was in December 2020 in the 4-year cycle, a little over 4 years ago. Here it was, your bottom was in December. The bottom here so far was in November, so a month earlier there. And then, though, you had a little correction. Then you really started to turn around like mid-February. So 2 weeks from now, maybe we just gradually go up and then into, you know, March, not like that. It's hard to draw. It's too high of a time frame, but you get the point. Gradually go up into February and then March really shoot up, and it can shoot up quick. Or look at right there. Look at that area in the first cycle right there, and then right here. So don't be asleep. That's the thing for alts. A lot of people may be giving up. Don't be asleep. I think it's a good bet to make. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think it's a damn good bet to make. In terms of trading right now, I mean, I did, there's some good setups in Discord. If you guys are interested in trading, especially, like, I'll give you a little freebie, but I think, it's a good risk-reward ratio. I would actually, I'd probably try to wing this up a little bit farther, 2-to-1 or something like that. If you win half your trades like this, you will be plenty profitable with good risk management. If you guys are interested in trading, we are doing on BYDFI and BloFin. If you sign my link, you get 10% discount on your fees for life there, which is really good. And then 10% bonus cash back. I think it's up to like $2,000 on BYDFI. And then BloFin is giving you a 10% cash back up to 100,000 futures bonus. And then you can get these promos for certain trading volumes, get up to 9,400. You could potentially buy a Rolex in it or buy crypto, which would probably be a better investment or whatever, not financial advice. But you can get these bonuses. Really good opportunity. If you guys have a smaller amount of money or just starting out, you can do prop trading. The link is down below for Breakout, which is really good. Essentially, you can get, I like to do the one-step evaluation here. Essentially, you could get a 100K account to trade with, keep 90% of the profits for only $880, which is really good. And much better than putting 5 or 10 grand in a trading account and just blowing that out. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll learn something and only lose $880. All you need to do is get 10% return before losing 5% here, and they give you a 100K account to trade with. You keep 90% of the gains. I've heard really good things. Check it out. Links are down below if you're interested. Anyway, guys, hope you got something out of the analysis for today. A lot of good stuff brewing, I think, over the next few months. All right, guys, have a good one. Goodbye.